Hello everybody and welcome to Theory Pop, taking a refreshing look at the movies, games and TV shows you love. Today's subject is Bendy and the Ink Machine, and we're going to reveal Bendy's true identity. Chapter 3 has provided us with a vital clue. Up until the end of Chapter 2, we had hints that some of the staff at Joey Drew's studio have been turned into living versions of the Bendy cartoon characters. Sammy Lawrence was stuck in some halfway transformation into what looked like Boris. With Chapter 3's release, this transformation theory has proven correct. Susie Campbell is revealed to have been turned into Alice Angel, and it seriously messed with her head. We've also seen Norman Polk transformed into a strange projector monster roaming the labyrinthine halls below the studio, and we already know Sammy was stuck in an inky body. But that still leaves us with a few characters unaccounted for, including one of my personal favourites, Wally Franks. There have been some theories about what happened to Wally. I recommend watching this excellent summary video by Prod Charles for some alternate suggestions as to his ultimate fate. But I have my own theory. Wally is Bendy. Let's look at the evidence. In a teaser image published by The Meatly before the release of Chapter 3, Boris is shown peering around a corner, holding a wrench in his hand. At first, I thought this may be a clue that Wally is Boris, but with the reveal of a previously unknown worker at the studio, there's a new candidate. In Chapters 1 and 3, we can find tapes left behind by Thomas Connor. This could go into an entirely separate theory, so I won't go any further with this one, but just to say that Wally is no longer the only human that could have been turned into Boris. So if Wally isn't Boris, why would I think he's Bendy? We know that Bendy can move around the studio using the vents, as we hear in Chapter 2. It's possible Wally would have a good idea of where the ventilation ducts all lead within the studio as, being the janitor, he'd likely need to know all of the outlets and intakes for cleaning. That's a hint, but Boris also uses the vents to get around, so we need more than that. The really crucial evidence is in our encounters with Bendy. So far, Henry encounters Bendy in each chapter. In Chapter 1, Bendy appears after switching on the ink machine. In Chapter 2, it's after we meet Sammy Lawrence face to face. And in Chapter 3, we can find Bendy multiple times during the errand runs for Alice Angel. So how do we know Bendy is Wally? What could possibly link them together? Well, we know two things about Wally. He doesn't like noise, and he doesn't like mess. That's why he doesn't like the ink machine.
It's noisy, messy, and who needs that much ink anyway?
And there's one key thing linking each of our meetings with Bendy. He always appears after Henry has made a monumental mess. The process of turning on the ink machine in Chapter 1 results in the small cinema room flooding with ink. Boris's open chest cavity spurts fluid all over the nice clean floor, and the ink machine itself is leaking all over the place. As we approach the ink machine, Bendy jumps up and tries to grab Henry through the boarded up doorway. He's probably trying to stop you from making it any worse. In Chapter 2, Bendy first goes after Sammy Lawrence, likely because he's making a lot of noise on the PA system, and we've already established Wally doesn't like things that are noisy. He only goes after Henry after he has axed his way through planks of wood, leaving the messy, broken remains behind him. Henry is about to walk through an inky hallway, which would result in even more mess if Henry left inky footprints behind all over the place. In Chapter 3, Bendy stalks the halls only after Henry has started ripping cogs out of vent panels, taking valves, and destroying Bendy cutouts. It wouldn't be so bad if Henry put the panels back in place, or put the cutouts neatly to one side, but no! He just leaves everything strewn about willy-nilly. Once again, Henry's left another mess behind him, and as Alice says, as the studio's janitor, Wally would have been ultimately responsible for ensuring the studio was clean and tidy. As the studio grew larger, this would have been a longer, more difficult task to accomplish. The last thing Wally needs is some upstart animator coming back after 30 years' absence and messing up his nice clean halls. This aspect of Wally's character, his responsibility to cleaning and maintaining the studio, has carried over into his transformation into Bendy, albeit somewhat twisted to an extreme. We know the process of transforming into one of the animated characters has a damaging effect on the psyche. Susie Campbell felt a real connection with Alice Angel when voicing the character. But changing into Alice has broken her. She no longer is playing a role, she is the character. It's not just a physical change. Her mind is now convinced she truly is Alice. She's losing her identity as Susie. This applies to Wally. His transformation into Bendy results in an extreme reaction to noise and mess, physically attacking those he sees as responsible. He's violent enough to even scare Alice into avoiding a confrontation with the demon. Wally, as Bendy, is still dutifully performing his task as a janitor, to a degree he was never capable of before. But what do you think? Is Wally Bendy? Could the janitor really be the dancing demon, or is someone else playing that role? Will we ever hear Bendy speak? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this theory, and don't forget to click subscribe to keep up to date with the latest theories. This has been Theory Pop. Thanks for watching.